The Force of Others, a Star Wars podcast.
Okay, and we are here in we used to call it the Interview Cantina, and then I realized that was a name I knew from a different podcast years ago, and I had accidentally stole it. So we're here in the interview corner, or the interview whatever, the interview part of the Force of Others universe, with a great Star Wars showman, a great ambassador for Star Wars, the CMO of Order 66 Toys. You're the co-owner of Rebelscum.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
The co-owner of Rebelscum.com and the co-founder of Rebelscum Con. And if he didn't put it together yet, he's a huge Star Wars fan. Let's give it up for Bobby Robertson. How are you, man?
I'm good, buddy. Thank you for having me. I also, not only am I a very large fan, I also really like it a lot.
Fair. Well done. Well done. Well, and yeah, dude, you're officially a second-time guest on the Force of Others. We will eventually get you here at a time that Zach can also be here, but he's busier than ever doing the New York actor thing, so his nights are gone. But before we jump into anything else, time of recording, it is March 9th. What are your thoughts on the state of Star Wars today?
Dude, we are in a weird lull right now because we have some big stuff just coming up, and it's coming up back to back on us because we're just under now, like 3 days, I think, under a month out for Maul Shadow Lord to start on Disney Plus, which is an exciting show in of itself because we're going to get a full series, not only from the perspective of Maul post Order 66 and possibly at the height of his career with the Shadow Collective, or rebuilding to the height of his career of being the head of the Shadow Collective, because we see him as the head again in the final scene of Solo, a Star Wars story, where there's a huge misconception where a lot of fans assume that he's the head of Crimson Dawn, and while he kind of is in a way, he's the head of the Shadow Collective. Dryden Voss was the head of Crimson Dawn, and then Kira was the head of Crimson Dawn after Dryden Voss was killed, but not technically Maul. But I'm super excited for Maul Shadow Lord because who knows what kind of cool planets and things they're going to show us. I'm hoping we'll get to go back to Nal Hutta. I'm hoping we're going to get to go to Nar Shaddaa a bit. Maybe, some things happen and he's on level 1313 on Coruscant for whatever reason.
They have to.
Right, yeah. I mean, like, surely one of the gangs he has operating under him is gonna be there, and we've heard in some like podcasts and other interviews from Sam Witwer that Maul's gonna be contemplative and reflecting back on his previous relationship, so there's a chance for us to see some characters again, but in like a flashback kind of capacity, it seems, which I'm very excited for the potential of that, because that means we'll get to see Savage again, maybe, and I would love more Savage. He was killed too soon, but also kind of at the right time because it made sense for him to go out the way he did. As a fan, I would have liked more time with the character.
Yes, 100%.
Right after that, the next month we have the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, our first return to a Star Wars movie in theaters again. This year, it was a almost 7-year hiatus from the theaters because it was December of 2019 when we got The Rise of Skywalker, and it's Maul. It's Maul's on the brain. May of 26.
Yeah.
May 22nd when we're getting the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Funny to see us returning back to another May release, because we haven't had another May release since Solo, a Star Wars story. But I feel like there's been enough time in between this movie and Rise of Skywalker that we've waited long enough. I'm glad they're not making us wait until December. And then rumor has it maybe around December-ish we might have season 2 of Ahsoka, which
we're doing the exact same thing. I was one of the ones that was complaining a little bit, not too much, but when I think it was last year they said, "Oh, we'll start shooting next year at some point." And I was like, "Oh," or whenever it was. And I was like, "Oh, so we will have waited 3 years between seasons."
Yeah.
I'm happy to get more, but you couldn't come up with a better cliffhanger than to have your villain standing on a literal cliff of a statue of the Mortis gods.
Uh-huh.
Like, I think too many Star Wars fans have forgotten that was just casually dropped on us almost 3 years ago. Like, Dave Filoni, how dare you? But yeah, to go to the May release, I remember they always wanted Star Wars to be in May. Both of the moves to December for Episode 7 and then again for 9 were JJ motivated. Because Duel of the Fates or whatever it was going to be. Huh? What's up?
We had 4 in December. We had
Right.
7, Rogue One, 8.
Yeah.
Solo was then May, and then
Yeah.
9 went back to December after that.
Yeah, but I remember they always wanted it to be in May, and then 7 got moved because of JJ, and same with 9, where he said, "I want more time, please push it back." And they said, "I guess we can do December," but I don't know, that's the way that I remember it. Who knows? It's been so long now. But I loved Star Wars at Christmas time because I love Christmas, and so getting my favorite franchise at my favorite time of the year, we got Star Wars for Christmas, man. It was great. But so to jump to a specific thing with Shadow Lord, because a lot of people, Star Wars fans like to complain. But how do you feel about Shadow Lord only being 10 episodes? Is that too short?
It's just not enough. I mean, I'm excited. I know it's going to be awesome.
Sure.
But 10 episodes of anything Star Wars is simply not enough. I want to go back to 2022 episode seasons. And that goes for all of my favorite shows, not just Star Wars. I will never forgive Netflix for the way they ruined the episode count for series, not just for streaming, but in general at this point, because while we're able to condense and maybe not have so much filler in these series, I don't care. I want the filler. I want to be sat in front of my screen in a galaxy far, far away. So if we're planning on telling a new story, tell a new story, world build. Give me some side adventures here and there on a brand new planet I haven't seen before. Or if we're exploring a whole new era, revisit a planet that we've seen before, but show it in a whole new way. Like over the years, we got to see Ilum slowly change through different medias in Star Wars into Starkiller Base by the time of The Force Awakens. And some of that content came after the fact of The Force Awakens, but still, while looking at the timeline, it's really cool to see that progression when we visit it here in between episodes 3 and 4, or during the Clone Wars era before the Empire has even had a chance to touch it yet and start strip mining it. Things like that. There's plenty of space, pun intended, in Star Wars to explore. So, let's explore it. Let's not cut the trip short. I mean, there's getting to the point, but at the same time, there's also, well, what's that over here? What's going on this planet? How do these people live? How do these people feel about the Empire, if that's the era we're in? Or what are the clones doing to adapt to this other strange environment? Or what kind of operation are these Jedi doing? Are they sneaking around this one place? You never know, but it's always cool and exciting to see. And that's one of the reasons why I loved Clone Wars so much, was because the seasons were nice and lengthy and we got to explore those things. Rebels, while it wasn't as long as Clone Wars, still did a good amount of that in of itself and showed us so many cool new places within its own borders within the timeline. And even Resistance, before it got canceled, got to do that to an extent, especially in the second season of the series. The second season of the series was so cool, the way they explored the galaxy and showed us so many interesting new places. And it's a shame we won't get a third season because who knows what else we would have gotten to see with those characters, you know?
Yeah. I'll steer into it. I liked Resistance. I liked the second season a lot more than the first one. I know that you loved it. I saw you posted something on Instagram last week. It was like, it's peak, I promise. Please listen to me. I can't remember exactly what it was. But why, and who knows, this could be anything, but why do you think they cut the cord after season 2? Do you
I
have a
think it
take?
was just too much negativity surrounding the sequel trilogy among the fan base. Whether that's you see it as a loud minority or just the fan base overall rejecting the sequel era.
Yeah.
There was just too much surrounding it. And unfortunately, there was a lot of fans, I feel, who just didn't give it a chance in general, especially with how kind of kiddie the first season was. But, you know, Rebels had a pretty innocent and kiddish vibe to its first season.
Yeah.
But if you really pay attention to any of these series, Resistance, Rebels, or even Clone Wars, all of them have similar light-hearted starts before they really get into the story of their point in time.
Yeah.
And it always gets more serious as it goes, and it always really solidifies that tone at the third season.
Yeah.
All three of them did it. Well, two of them did it.
Yeah.
Resistance likely would have if we got to see that point. So,
Yeah.
Dave Filoni, please, you're co-president now. Resistance is one of your babies.
It could happen.
We got season 7 of Clone Wars. Why not season 3 of Resistance? I know a lot of the cast, like Christopher Sean, would love to do it. So, yeah, please give us season 3 of Resistance because that show got unfortunately canceled just as it really found its footing and its voice in the galaxy far, far away. And there were so many cool things they showed us in season 2. I think I've already said that already, but still, it's just the fact of that show. So, yeah, unfortunately, I feel like it was due to sequel fatigue or just non-interest because it happens to take place in that era, and a combination of, for some fans, it just seemed too kiddie. And that's kind of the most common and valid critique I see of the show because the first season is a little kiddie. But it really starts to straighten out by the end.
Yeah.
Of that, once it runs parallel to The Force Awakens in that finale. And then from there, it's just, oh, okay, where are we going?
Yeah.
What's the next planet we're exploring?
Yeah, it was wide open, and, shock, Star Wars fans don't necessarily like new things. That's not true. Not all Star Wars fans, the, loud minority that we talk about, the type of people that don't go to Rebelscum Con. Yeah, I will admit that just like the first season of Clone Wars, when I was much younger, I was like, I don't know about this, and I gave up on it for a while. But much sooner than I did with Clone Wars, it took me years to get into that. I dove back into Resistance shortly thereafter, and there was a lot of good stuff on that show. I liked it a lot. Back to Shadow Lord, it is funny that, because now we're all like, we like the filler. Give us the filler. I'm hoping that what a 10-episode season means is that we're going to get 10 of the best episodes of animation that we've seen in quite some time.
Yeah.
I'm on my apology, like, make sense of it train right now. It's like, maybe it's because Whitworth's so busy that they could only do 10. Who knows?
It could be. I honestly don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But, I definitely agree that it looks absolutely stunning with what we've seen in trailers and screen grabs so far. And Lucasfilm has always killed it in the animation department.
Oh, yeah.
I know there's some art styles that are more popular than others. There's some fans who prefer the Genndy Tartakovsky animation style over the Filoni CG animation style. There's some people who think that the Bad Batch or even Tales from insert here is the most beautiful animation style, and all of them have really, really gorgeous art and animation in their own right, including Rebels. And my favorite, even though some people think I'm lying when I say it, Resistance is, believe it or not, my favorite of the animation styles they've done so far because I
Cool.
like the blend of 3D and cell shaded animation
Mm.
is my personal favorite art style to do animation in. And I wish more series still did it over CG because it's more affordable and in a lot of
Yeah.
cases it just looks better. But that's just me. That's just me. So
Does that
I liked it when they blended the two for Resistance.
does that go back to your love of Transformers, do you think?
Yes, definitely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's valid.
Generation 1 is still my favorite of all the series. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Right on. I mean, I know almost nothing. I will admit, no shade on Transformers. I don't know nothing about it.
That's okay.
You know, I know who Optimus Prime is, so I can tell you that.
That's
Um,
really all you need, you know? He's, I think he's consistently the most popular character. And for good reason.
yeah. Yeah, well, he's got the best voice. I can't think of the actor's name right now.
Peter Cullen.
That's the one. I was gonna say Peter Sellers, not the same guy at all. But speaking of robots, kind of very forced transition. When last we talked and when last I saw you at Rebelscum Con, you were showing off the biggest B1 collection. Or what is the collection that you have of B1 battle droids? Like, is it it's like the biggest, like verified, or like, well, what's the title of it? I don't remember.
So it's the biggest, or rather the most
There you go.
comprehensive collection of not just B1s at this point, battle droids in general. So
Awesome.
gosh, I don't even remember when I started exactly at this point. It was maybe around 2022 or 2023. I just kind of got tired of not having the classic red security variant or OM9 or pilots from the Phantom Menace, even though we had kind of the physical parts for them with the original Black Series Battle Droid release, which
Yeah.
is my favorite Battle Droid figure in particular. I just feel like Hasbro just got it the most right in terms of articulation and detail and overall scale. They just nailed it.
Yeah.
Um, so 6 inch is just my favorite scale to collect in general, and the majority of my Star Wars collection,
That's
I
awesome.
have just about every single character
Gosh.
that's in or around 6 inch scale. Um, just across the timeline, starting in KOTOR, going all the way through
Awesome.
even Visions and uh, things like that, all the way through the sequel trilogy. Yeah, but
Awesome.
battle droids, the
Yeah.
B1 in particular, is just my favorite in Star Wars in general.
Yeah.
So, um, as I was noticing a lack of some of the paint variants, I just started with those three, and then I was like, well, why not do them in the Geonosis colors too? Because they
Hmm.
existed in those colors as well. And then I started doing like a video game variant here and a comic variant there. And eventually I did characters like Mr. Bones. I even, for some, I've had parts 3D printed or using what's called green stuff from Army Painter,
Okay.
molded parts myself by hand. Like the fusion
Man.
cutter on the rocket battle droid that I did from the Clone Wars, the Abrogado system
Yeah.
escape pod episode with Plo Koon. They have like a little fusion cutter on their forearm, and they have a little headlamp and like a little swooping out miner's headpiece. I molded those as well.
That's awesome.
Um, and then other battle droid models came out, and I love the other ones too. So I started doing a bunch of B2s, and I hunted BXs to extinction in North Texas multiple times at GameStop. I ended up with like I think around 20 just picking them up in person when they came out, and I've
Man.
done several paint variants of those guys already. Bunch of
Cool.
Magna Guards, bunch of
Cool.
multi packs, all kinds of stuff. But so far, I'm at 90 B1s in 6-inch scale on display behind
Awesome.
me. It's around 24 or 25 B2s. I think I have 12 or 13 BXs and 10 or 11 Droidicas and
Right on, man.
8 or 9 Magna Guards currently on display. It's a
That's
lot.
got that's got to be a Guinness or the Star Wars version of like Guinness World Record
Yeah,
something.
I need to look into submitting for that because I'm sure I would get it because I mean with the amount
Yeah.
of variants I've done, I use either they're all of well, except for like 5 or 6. They're all for the most part official Lucasfilm battle droid variants.
Yeah.
So some of them are from the movies, some of them are from the shows, some of them are from video games, some of them are from comics, novels, and other Lucasfilm source materials like concept art books, trading cards, um, things like that. And I've done very few really cool fan inspired ones that I've just
Okay.
seen some cool B1 art online and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I love how this fan did that." Some were inspired by shorts that other talented fans have made with certain characters and I just had to visually bring that to life uh in
Cool.
a creative way. And some of them are just fun little like multiversal what if variants. Like I did a Roger pool around the time of Deadpool and Wolverine coming out, and I did a Captain Roger Rogers. It's a Captain America inspired Roger, but
Cool.
his backstory places him as a repainted and reprogrammed B1 in the Empire era. He has a modified speeder bike. He has a shield. He has the Rebel Phoenix symbol on his chest and on his shield. It's magnetic.
Of course.
I've done Roger from the Freemaker saga,
Right.
B1 from Star Wars Resistance, and a few of the pirate B2s. And there is still a good amount of variants for me to complete, unfortunately. While I've made progress, I would probably say I'm roughly 60 to 70% complete with doing every single
All of
variant.
them. That is, I watched the realization kind of hit you as you said that. It looked like you aged like 5 years as you said that. You're like, I'm only about 60% complete. Well,
Right.
so, but the level of completion is wild. And what
Yeah.
was it like to show that collection to Lucasfilm's Matt Wood last year, like the actor of all the B1s? What was that like?
It was probably one of the greatest honors I feel like I could have had as a Star Wars fan, especially
Yeah.
with something that's so precious to me
Yeah.
as much as I appreciate the B1s and and love working on them. Seeing Matt light up and get excited about how many different ones that he probably for some didn't even recognize or hadn't seen in a while because
Yeah.
he was mostly just working with a script, I'm sure, in the booth and didn't have a whole lot of visual to go off of. And I doubt they did a lot of, full color visuals for them to go off of. Uh, and at the end of the show, I asked him to pick one out for himself. He ended up picking, he ended up picking OOM-10 from the Citadel arc in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, one of
Yeah.
the the main commanding battle droid under R2-D2
Yeah.
when they snuck Obi-Wan, Anakin, Ahsoka, and a few clones onto the Citadel to save Even Peel and Captain Tarkin then.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Love
yep,
that arc.
he picked that one to, he said, live in his office at Skywalker Ranch, which was absolutely amazing.
That's crazy.
And then on my life-size Roger back there, I
Oh
don't
my
know if you
gosh.
I
Sorry,
don't
I
know if
didn't
you
even
can
see
see
him.
them. He was actually with Matt so people could get
That's right.
pictures with him and a battle droid. But there was a pair of reading glasses left behind at Matt's table, and they're not Matt's reading glasses, but they look very similar to one of the pairs he was wearing over the weekend. He claimed, because I had asked him about it, but he was like, "No, those aren't mine." But he said it in a weird sarcastic way.
They're
And I was
his.
like, you know what? Those are just gonna stay on Roger now. So maybe I have a pair of Matt's reading glasses. Or they're just somebody's reading glasses I've been holding on to since year 2. So if you lost a pair,
Could be.
Yeah. Roger's got them.
If you're watching or listening to this and you lost your glasses at Rebelscum Con last year, Bobby has them, and they're on his battle droid as we speak. It sounds like you got Matt Wood's reading glasses, man.
I think I did. I think he was just being nice and like, oh yeah, you take them or whatever. Like, I don't know.
That's crazy though. One of the battle droid variants that you made is sitting on the supervising sound editor of ILM, like at Skywalker Ranch. It's not sitting on him, sitting on his desk.
Yeah.
That's in his office while he's meeting with people about the next Marvel movie.
Yeah. Or whatever else he's working on. I mean, that dude works
everything.
on so many different projects, even Pixar.
Yeah. That was an out of body experience at I keep talking about Rebelscum Con, but it's because it's awesome. My co-host and I, Zach, we were sitting like second row or something for one of the panels that he was on. It was the Clone Wars one because he was setting up his sound rig, and Zach is much less shameless than me, and is just able to just yell at people if he knows them or knows of them, and he's just like, "Hey, is that the?" and was asking questions about the sound rig that he was setting up, and Matt looked up, and all of a sudden they're talking shop, and I was like,
"That's so great!
This is happening." This is actually happening right now. And they were just, and I was just like, what is going? And Carly King was moderating that one, and she was looking up like, holy crap. They're just, anyway, it was bizarre. But, so speaking of all of that and kind of those out of body experiences talking to Star Wars legends, you have interviewed so many at Rebelscum Con, and I don't know other places, but I mean, just the ones that I know about. Roger
More
Christian,
on Order
Matt
66
Wood.
Toys, actually.
Oh, do they come on the live show?
It's from time to time. Yes.
That's crazy.
There have been times over the years where, in fact, a lot of our first year Rebel Scum Con guests had been guests of Order 66 Toys in years past.
Cool.
Chris Bartlett had been a guest of ours 4 or 5 times, I think, before RSC1, and we would go live with him. We would interview with him. He would sell some autographs online and have a really good time, and then he would spend the rest of the weekend in the shop for people to come and visit in person. But we've had him, tons and tons of other guests. My first one was Dickie Beer back in January of 2018. Yeah,
man, that's crazy. Well, so then I'll ask you. Like, it's the basic question. Do you ever get butterflies or feel like kind of that out-of-body experience when you're talking to people that have worked on Star Wars, to, like, icons like that?
Just about every time. Yeah. Just about every time, regardless of who it is, because I'm just excited to meet somebody who got to help be a part of it. Because to me, one of the, I think, coolest things you can do as a fan is be actually in Star Wars. Yeah. So for whenever I get the chance to meet a Star Wars guest, whether they played the character the most or were the suit actor and played the character double to James Earl Jones or Pedro Pascal, for example, where we had great actors like David Prowse or now Brendan Wayne, or even the characters that we didn't know who were the main bodies and main performers of some of these characters behind the scenes. So much of them is in Star Wars, and it's really cool to get to see that and experience that in person and get to hear their side and what it was like for them, because all of their experiences are different, which is why I always ask some similar questions like, what's your favorite Star Wars fan moment? And what was your favorite memory from, whatever piece of Star Wars they worked on? Because I definitely want to know what that was like for them, because while sometimes you get some similar-ish answers, they're all so different. And some of them have some wild and fantastic stories of some crazy hijinks behind the set. And some of them have some very profound memories from some of the things they worked on behind the set, or just how the project they were working on moved them at the time, which is another really cool, awesome experience to have when you're working with them. And so yeah, to me, whenever I see any of these guys or ladies, um it's just always really exciting, and it's always, where do I start? Do I start with this character? Do I start with this point in their career? Which part do I acknowledge first? Uh, because also, I want to show the most respect to whoever it is I'm talking to as well, and uh, show the right appreciation for the level of work they did, or how big they might be in their career too.
Yeah. Well, you're good at it. I mean, I've seen you, because
Thank you.
we'd sat in, of
I
course,
just do my
absolutely.
best.
Absolutely. When I go to a convention, I'm a panel guy. Like,
Okay.
I'll go to the floor, but I don't want to say overwhelmed, but after a certain bit, it's like, okay, let's go sit and watch people talk that worked on these things. And so I think we saw you moderate 3 or 4 or maybe 5, but we saw a bunch,
I did
right?
a few.
Couldn't tell that you were nervous. Ever. Couldn't tell at all.
Oh,
But,
definitely was. Oh, big time, dude. It's even like worse in convention. And Katie actually touched on that too in her podcast. Which if you weren't able to see the podcast live at Rebelscum Con Year 2, it's up on our YouTube channel.
Awesome.
So you can watch the full thing. It's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Her and Emily are such a trip together. They are a couple of shenanigizers in their own right, and it really shows in some of the best ways. So yeah, if you haven't had the chance, check out the podcast. But yeah, performing online, even if it's a live interview and you're engaging with comments and you're um, engaging with Star Wars fans,
Yeah.
literally all around the world, it's still way different from sitting in a big room full of people who are just like right there, and it's just like, oh man, you want to make sure that you're on for both
Yeah.
them, but also trying to ask the right questions at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird, not more, it's just a weird extra mental hurdle that
Oh, yeah.
you might not necessarily expect going in. But luckily, with a lot of the guests, pretty much all of the guests I've had the pleasure to interview, um, they're able to see what I'm going for, the type of question I'm trying to ask, and they're able to take it from there. And some of them really just go off, like your Sam Witwers. Oh my gosh, getting that guy to just start talking about anything in his experiences in Star Wars, it's like, all right, cool. I'm gonna settle in and just enjoy this, because it's just, it just feels magical every time.
He was, I didn't even interview him, but getting the picture taken, I was like, yep, not gonna freak out, just gonna stand here and then gonna walk away. Yep. And I don't know. You want to talk about, I was full on fangirling, right?
It's hard not to, especially with him. I mean, oh my
that's
gosh.
someone that he is, because it's one thing when it's a actor that's been in Star Wars. It's another thing when it's a Star Wars fan that has been in Star Wars to the degree that he's been, that also is such a holocron and is such a also geek. There's that whole other level of like, I look up to your Star Warsness and that you're also a nerd. So, anywho. But all that to say, yeah, it's wild to keep our cool when we're around these celebrities. But is there a particular, this is probably hard, but is there a particular of the moments that you mentioned, that whether it's a like a funny story or a meaningful story, but is there a particular moment, an answer that a guest gave to you that like rises up to the top? I don't want to say like a crowning achievement, but just something that like, wow, that's a moment you still remember.
Oh, there's a
Or if you
few
got a
actually.
bunch, hit it.
Yeah, I would say the best, not necessarily best, because oh, I don't think I've had a negative experience interviewing a Star Wars guest,
Cool.
but my favorite experiences are definitely just the fan moment I had with Matt at the end of year two.
Mm.
Um, Interviewing Matt and Sam was really
Yeah.
cool. And that was actually the second time I got to interview Sam.
Oh, cool.
The first time was a few years back, around 22, I think, at a retro expo in Plano. And Sam was a guest there, and we were able to get permission to go do a quick interview with him. It was
Cool.
supposed to be, I think, 5 or 10 minutes is what the handler was quoting on, and it ended up being like 45 minutes. So that was a really good one.
Yeah.
Um, Interviewing Ashley Eckstein
Awesome.
at a retro expo was also a really cool moment because she's just wonderful. But my favorite Ashley and Dave Eckstein experience is doing the Galactic Star Cruiser on the same voyage as them. Because when my
Awesome.
Rebelscum.com business partner Josh and I did the press tour just before it opened to the public, we were on the same tour as Ashley and Dave. So it was really fun to be in this experience where you're just on a cruise ship in a galaxy far, far away, and Ahsoka's like right there. That was definitely one of the coolest.
That's
Um,
awesome.
there
Yeah.
was Ahmed Best at Rebel Scum Con year one. Um,
Yeah.
he he has a lot of insightful and profound experiences that he shares, especially from a lot of the negativity surrounding those earlier years for the prequel trilogy, especially around the time of the Phantom Menace in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I know a lot of fans forget, or the fans who harp on the sequels or Disney era right now uh, ignore, but there was a lot of nastiness from some fans when the prequel trilogy was coming out that I have never forgotten. And it's kind of funny to look back on when the sequels came out and so many fans came around to the prequels like, oh no, the prequels were great the whole time. What are you talking about? It's we love it. And Hayden Christensen as Anakin, I mean, absolute cinema. He's the greatest of all time. He's peak. When I also distinctly remember growing up and hearing so many people dog on not just Anakin but Hayden because of the way he was directed in the prequel trilogy, and for some reason it was all his fault. Uh, so it's seeing Ahmed talk about how he overcame all of that negativity, even where it brought him to some places he didn't expect in life. It ended up leading to some really great successes for him. And he has a very awesome teaching career right now, too, where he's trying to help shape the minds of the next generation. And um, like, and this is some of the stuff he's talked about, like his mentor, George Lucas, um, he's always looking to the future and new technologies and, ways to just make the world better, which I think is absolutely incredible. So Ahmed sticks out to me for that. and also the way he keeps coming back to Star Wars for us.
Yeah.
We finally got Darth Jar Jar and both Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy seasons.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Crazy.
He's in the first one.
That's right.
He gets cut in half, and then in the second season, he comes back with a spider body, kind of like Maul when he was, I think, on Raxus Prime or another jump planet.
Yeah.
And he was running around with those legs, and that was absolutely hysterical. And hopefully we get a figure of that one of these days outside of Lego. But
I mean, or you could make it.
I've actually done some Rebuild Galaxy figures. I don't have it currently in my collection because we did a giveaway or of some kind with it in the sale, but I did a Maul.
Yeah.
Based off of his appearance in that. I've done the C-3PO bounty hunter figure with the black metal arm.
Cool.
He's over there behind me.
Yeah.
I've done Darth Nubs.
My gosh.
He's awesome. Did Darth Nubs. Oh, and then I did the Lando Lorian. Had to do the Lando Lorian. There's a bunch of others I want to do. I'm working on an Akbar clone trooper at the moment. It's just a very interesting and complicated head swap, but yeah, there was a lot of really cool golden moments in Rebuild the Galaxy. If you haven't watched it, you're missing.
Oh, I have. I've seen them both. But yeah, if you're watching or listening to this and you haven't seen it, hard recommend. There's something special about the Lego spoofs because they make fun of Star Wars while also, I mean, it's appropriate for all ages.
Yep.
But they make fun of Star Wars while also giving deep cuts for fans. But they're never really ever punching down on any of it.
No. And it's really cool the way they touch on some of the funny inconsistencies throughout the entire saga. Not just the prequels, not just the sequels, but the original trilogy and its inconsistencies as well. As much as we love it, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
And it was really funny to see them remix and re-show some of these characters that we're so familiar with. Some of them are very drastically different. Some of them are good guys who are great heroes that are now horrible villains. Some of them were great and proud villains that are kind of pathetic characters. Some of them are, really great and selfish characters that are now super selfish and self-absorbed. And then what was really weird to find out is Padme's a deadbeat mother.
Right.
And it's season 2 because apparently she's alive and she's a pirate queen, which I loved that nod to her and the confusion between Natalie Portman and Keira Knightley.
Yes.
Because they doubled each other in The Phantom Menace where Keira was Sabe or Rabe, one of the handmaidens and body doubles for Padme. So making her a pirate queen was, I think, very poetic and awesome, but also her children still being separated and not knowing their parents is very strange considering she's not exactly a villain, even though she's not a good guy. And Vader's not a villain either. He's still a cyborg, but he's a Jedi Knight. So
yeah,
real strange.
I love it. One of my favorite
like that.
One of my favorite jokes, just making fun of stuff, without really feeling like it was being mean to it, was when they go to the Snoke pit. And there's a bunch of Snokes in there, and they said, well, who's Snoke? And they're like, it doesn't really matter.
Who really cares?
It was so funny.
It doesn't even matter. Yeah, that was good.
It was awesome. But yeah, I love those. Go check those out if you haven't seen them. But so speaking of Ahmed Best, I mean, the reason I reached out to you to have you on the show was I discovered about a year ago now, actively discovered in real time, Bobby's Jar Jar fandom. We did a blind ranking of sidekicks, and I'm going to be so honest, I put Jar Jar on there because I kind of thought, I was like, well, it'll be a joke, and he'll be an easy 5. And I was very quickly humbled and readjusted. I was like, oh, well, because Dante, shout out Dante Dio, was also on the show. He starts laughing and saying Bobby and laughing, and I was like, is Bobby a Jar Jar guy? That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, had no idea. would like to point out, was not a prequels hater. I was just old enough at 10 to hear all of the Jar Jar hate and to go, I mean, he's kind of odd, but
Yeah.
whatever. But I was in that whole generation that only recently is Jar Jar getting his flowers and stuff. And so anyway, it was so funny because then it was this pro Jar Jar moment on the show, and I was like, this is kind of fun. I'd never encountered that before.
I think other fans like Pixelated Erica and J Guy Hunter
There you go.
really, really helped with,
Yeah.
just being out there as a positive fan and celebrating our love for the character, especially with J Guy's cosplay of not just Jar Jar, but behind the scenes suit Jar Jar,
Oh,
where he's got the
the
big
visor.
shades, yeah, and it's Jar Jar's head, but it's a hat,
Yeah.
and yeah,
That's awesome.
it's such an awesome cosplay, and he's not the only one who's done it. My brain is skipping on the other
Yeah.
guy who did one, but his was also really, really good. And I think I've seen at least one more. There's definitely two or three really
Yeah.
good behind the scenes Jar Jar cosplays out there.
Yeah.
But
Well,
some of these other fans have been really helpful with spreading
yeah.
more Jar Jar love out there. And
Yeah.
the new comic, man, it was awesome. What did you think?
Right here. Me and Zach absolutely loved it. It might be my favorite Star Wars story of the year so far. I was shocked how much I loved it. I mean, if you don't know, listener, watcher, Ahmed Best co-wrote this thing.
Yep.
Like, the level and just, the Zach's takeaway was Ahmed Best and Ahmed Best written by Ahmed Best. Because Jar Jar and Keller and Beck. And, I mean, it was already... I got very, very emotional a couple years ago when Grogu was getting rescued and the doors opened, and it was Ahmed Best getting to play a badass Jedi. With everything you mentioned earlier, all the hate that he took and all the emotional and mental abuse from Star Wars fans that do not understand the messages of Star Wars, coming after this young performer that was getting to live his dream because the character was too kiddie for them.
Everyone's dream. Not just his. I mean, who doesn't have that dream as a fan? I can't think of anyone who doesn't, in some level, love the idea of maybe being in Star Wars.
Yes.
I can't think of one.
Right. And I mean, and especially then when, here you, in our, while we mean it well, we're not being too complainy, but we're like, it's been 7 years since we've gotten a Star Wars movie. And then it had been 16 years since there had been a Star Wars movie. You know what I mean? And here's Ahmed, who had grown up watching the original trilogy, and then he's getting to be what is essentially, I guess, like, thematically or structurally, the new C-3PO. He's getting to be the new kind of comic relief character to bring kids along the journey, and had some of the worst mental thoughts imaginable. I won't say it if anybody doesn't know, but getting to see him get the full turnaround, getting to be a badass Jedi Knight on The Mandalorian and get just universally praised. I say all that to say I got very emotional watching that episode, but then to get to see that come full circle even more, and he gets to write a team up of his two characters is one of the craziest Star Wars fan things and Star Wars creator things that I've ever experienced. So all that to say, I absolutely loved it. But what did you think about all of that?
Dude, I loved the way he brought his two characters together. And the only thing I feel was missing was Ahmed Beck, his Coruscant security officer that he played in Attack of the Clones, because it's like, man, I feel like there's some way we might have been able to incorporate Ahmed Beck into this. Like, maybe Jar Jar hired him to his personal guard at some point because he was out on the town one night in Coruscant, and hey, Yusa should come work up for Misa, and he's got Ahmed Beck as his guard, and then he gets involved with Kelleran Beck as a Jedi Master. It was really cool the way those two characters were brought together. It was really cool to see the tie-ins for some early Rebel Alliance type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Rebels, the series.
Yeah.
Not to get too spoilery in case we're not doing spoilers. If we are,
It's
then
whatever you want. If you
then
want,
I'll
if you want to
say.
go for it, I'll tell you
So
what. We're gonna go full spoilers, everybody.
okay,
So
so
pause, go read the book, and then come back. But dive into it.
Ezra's mother gets
Yeah,
saved by
crazy.
Jar Jar and Kelleran Beck on this mining world that's already being exploited at a galactic empire-like level, because I guess we're really probably close to Order 66 at this point in the timeline. I don't think it was super specific, but it seemed to definitely be later in the Clone Wars, not earlier in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, seeing Miss Bridger get saved, well, not Bridger yet, but seeing Miss Bridger get saved by them, and also in the early stages of establishing the Rebels pirate broadcast, essentially special off the books communications crystal network that they're using in Rebels, that her and her husband used for helping spread their freedom message on Lothal before they were taken by the Empire, was really, really cool to see. Seeing Jar Jar playing these political chess games with Sheev, while he's saying, hey, if we're, supposed to be in this kind of protective role for our people, shouldn't we be representing them this way? Shouldn't this level of stuff not be happening on our worlds that are under our watch? And Palpatine just kind of, dismiss it in a very clever way of, oh, of course, yeah, I'll have my personal people look into that for you. Don't worry about it, Jar Jar. It's all good. We're good buddies. We go way back. And we also get to see who the Nubian cruiser that we saw in The Mandalorian that Kelleran escaped in belonged to, because he said it belonged to an old friend of his. A lot of us assumed it was somebody from Naboo, possibly Padme Amidala, because she had the same model throughout the Clone Wars. But what we didn't know until this comic was it's the Hey Blibber Duck, Jar Jar's personal cruiser, which was so great. I love the name, the Hey Blibber Duck.
It's awesome.
Such a great name for that ship.
It's awesome. Yeah, that was one of my, I hope we get more stories with these two in comics. I don't know if we will. I hope we do, but I like that they put a button on it where he's just like, yeah, we'll work together. And Kelleran says, one condition, I get to use the ship whenever I want. And so it's like, okay. So if they don't do more, then we know. But, I loved everything about it. Did you see that Ahmed Best based a character off a friend of his?
Which one?
The Coralisa Senig. So the one that he has to leave behind on whatever the planet is. She's got the teal skin and
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you see that he based it off a friend of his?
No, I didn't realize that.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, then we told the story on the show, and it's heavy, but it's a friend of his that passed away from cancer late last year, and he based the character, the design, the look is fully her, but the reason she's teal and I don't remember the other color, but it's the colors for breast cancer and ovarian cancer, and she was suffering from both. And he got to tell her before she passed that he's like, I'm going to make this character that's this inspiring rebel leader that is a leader of her people, and she's got your name. She's going to be in this book, and she's got those colors and everything. I wanted to share you that. You talk about how Ahmed Best is so inspiring, and so that's one of the best things. Most people, if they had an opportunity to write a Star Wars team-up of their two characters, they'd be like, it's going to be the dopest thing ever, and they're going to fight all the Sith, and they're going to be the coolest. And he was like, I'm going to do that. I'm also going to tell a story honoring a real-world person and making a statement about communication and standing up now. And then that he has to leave her in the book. So not to get, too heavy about all of it, but just that's all those reasons. This is my favorite Star Wars story of the year so far. So he posted about it on his Instagram. He showed the clip of telling her over Zoom that she was going to be a Star Wars character. So I just, shout out Ahmed Best, one of the best, ambassadors that Star Wars has.
Absolutely.
But, so yeah, I mean, just, all that to say, we liked the comic, guys. It's pretty wonderful. It's more than just a comic.
Yeah, if you haven't read it, you are definitely missing out on a really awesome story, especially one that ties some things together that I know I didn't expect to come tied together. I'm glad that we got a team up with both Jar Jar and Keller and Beck, especially since we know Jar Jar worked with Jedi many times throughout his career, both pre-politician and during.
Yeah.
It's really awesome to see all of that come full circle for him, and I also just really hope we get more of that.
Something that comes up a lot that I'm curious on your thoughts on. I don't mean to typecast you as like only a Jar Jar Binks fan.
No, you're
It's
good.
just
You're
that
good.
you're very passionate about this. And so something that I see come up a lot is we both talked about how we love that Ahmed Best is in his his kind of Star Wars golden era. He's getting all these returns that are very justly deserved. How do you feel about, as of right now, the canonical end to Jar Jar? That in the Aftermath books, he's kind of this disgraced street performer that that he really is only there to make children happy, and he says, "Yeah, I don't know, all the adults are mad at me, and they don't really pay attention to me anymore." How does that story hit you?
I feel like that was probably a fan in the writing room who got the opportunity to shame the character because they were probably a fan who just didn't like the character. Because there's no part of the Aftermath depiction of the character that I feel honors any of the things he actually did positively. Because Jar Jar really did, while he did, ultimately give the emergency powers to Palpatine in Attack of the Clones that led to the Galactic Empire, while you can say that was a big mess up on his part, Palpatine was going to get that no matter what.
Yeah.
Regardless if it was Jar Jar who spoke up and said it, or one of the other several politicians in the room that were undoubtedly under his thumb. Somebody was going to bring it up. He was going to make that happen no matter what. So to say that Jar Jar is solely responsible, or the main character responsible for all of the bad things that happened after Order 66 and the destruction of the Jedi, I feel is a bit of a stretch, because that was there were plans upon plans upon plans to make sure that happened. So was he a tool? Yes. Seeing him as a disgraced gesture, I feel was just a bit much, because it just doesn't, seeing what the character did in the prequels, it just doesn't make sense. Was he clumsy, and that was the main reason he got banished from Otoh Gunga and Gungan civilization prior to meeting Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan? Yes, but that was because he had a major vehicular accident that, as he described, belonged to one of the bosses. So he offended somebody high up in his own political community, and also caused some kind of public damage or personal property damage. And that was enough to get kicked out. But as far as we saw the character, he seemed to be physically and both mentally competent enough when he's speaking in the Phantom Menace. If you get past the goofy tone of his voice, a lot of the things he's saying or concerned about make sense and are rational things to say or be concerned about. Hey, if it's between army of robots that'll just blast us to pieces, or people who I may face some consequences from, well, I guess I can maybe see if they'll make an exception, versus most likely death. I
Yeah.
mean, he makes rational choices there, and definitely verbally and on screen weighs those consequences.
Yeah.
And then later on, is the catalyst of helping Naboo defend itself from the Trade Federation army, and essentially is the person who unites both the human culture of Naboo and the Gungan culture that originated there, because the humans were aliens who settled Naboo. The Gungans were actually a species who originated there.
Yeah.
And they lived separately until Jar Jar Binks helped bring those two communities together in a
True.
kind of successful battle. I mean, the Gungans technically lost that fight, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, and
So,
they were never supposed to win. They were supposed to kind of stall
right,
the army.
right, as much as possible so that
Yeah.
Queen Amidala could capture Viceroy.
Yeah.
And luckily, Anakin was able to destroy the droid control ship right after they had surrendered, because the Gungans were being rounded up and put in the process of, becoming war prisoners, which another, awesome thing to say about the battle droids in general.
There you go.
Battle droids take prisoners. Clones don't. That clones execute battle droids that actively surrender, whereas battle droids will actually take clone prisoners in the Clone Wars era, if they surrender. So, that's
Awesome.
a score for the droids there. In terms of war ethics, I guess.
It's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
But
That's
yeah,
perfectly
it's seeing everything with Jar Jar in the prequels. I don't see where you could actively or actually draw the conclusion of that's how he ended up in Aftermath. It's weird to me, and like I said, I feel like it was just the writer taking the opportunity to knock down this character that they just didn't like, because otherwise, what purpose did it really serve putting him in that story other than just for that?
Yeah.
I honestly don't see one.
Yeah. Because everybody feels this way about it, I will say, here's the way that I'll headcanon it, right? There's a part of me that I would never want that to be the end of his story, ever, because I think that's overly cruel. But when I will admit, when I first read whichever Aftermath book that was,
I don't
know
remember
which one it's in. Yeah,
it's been a long time.
Yeah. And they're I don't like saying any Star Wars story is bad, but there's parts of Aftermath that I was like, this is. I'm reading this right now.
That's probably one of the main things of feedback I've heard about the Aftermath trilogy. It's one of the book trilogies of all time in Star Wars.
Yes.
Reading it is an experience for sure. It's definitely unique in its writing style.
First person
way,
for the whole first novel, if I remember right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But it also introduced some pretty cool original new characters and showed us some of the newer characters that we were seeing early in the sequel trilogy at a much earlier point in the galaxy.
Yeah.
Also, that's the first time we meet the character Cobb Vanth.
I was going to say.
Technically as well.
Yes,
he was in one of the three.
Yeah.
As well.
I don't envy the writer. I think his name is Chuck Wendig. Yeah. Yes. Because he was given the assignment, hey, you get to write the first post-Return of the Jedi canon novel. You cannot use Luke, Han, or Leia. And for all three, you can't even really mention Luke Skywalker. I'd be like, what? Why?
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's what do you mean? What are you talking about? Strange.
Definitely an odd challenge.
Yeah. But for the Jar Jar of it all, the only thing, not to say that I want Jar Jar to be a disgraced street performer.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. But I appreciated that story element because it was treated as a tragedy.
Sure.
There's no part of that story that treated it as this is how he should have ended up. It was this guy that meant to do well, that got chewed up by the system, and then was reduced to what the fans in real life thought he was. Just a clown to make kids happy. And in that story, he makes a kid really happy. Now, headcanon forever, Kelleran Beck isn't dead, and what happens shortly after that, whatever they call it, interlude, Kelleran Beck or a friend of Kelleran Beck or somebody meets up with Jar Jar, and then they go out and they go do resistance stuff.
Yeah,
so that's headcanon for me.
I really want to see the story that takes place post 66 for Jar Jar for sure.
Sure.
That's a story I really want to be told. And honestly, at this point, after this comic, I hope that Ahmed is the one to tell it.
Yes.
Because I think he'll really do something cool with the character. And I mean, I can't imagine that Jar Jar stayed in the Imperial Senate for very long if he did, or wasn't a very close ally to Bail and Mon Mothma for a while. Before leaving, because I don't think we ever see him at any point in Rebels, like even in the background when they did some brief Senate stuff, which was only during the Mothma part, and I don't really think they showed us the Senate for them at all, actually.
At all,
We didn't see him in Andor when they did show us Senate stuff there. Which, I mean, if he was still active, we would have. I'm also kind of surprised they didn't show him or cameo him in Andor when Luthen and Clea were on Naboo. When they did that flashback towards the end of season 2. I think that would have been a really cool time to show him. We got some Imperial Naboo resistance fighters in the Vader comics. Jar Jar didn't seem to be amongst them, but there were a coalition of humans and Gungans working together, which included Typho.
I mean, that strikes me. And it seems so silly, but I wonder if there are writers that are just afraid to touch Jar Jar, because it's kind of the same thing with Resistance, that they don't want to summon the negativity.
It could be.
All that to say, don't be afraid. Write Jar Jar. Just do it. What's the worst that can happen?
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I mean, we will likely get a really cool story or just a really cool take on the character out of it. Most recently.
This all comes from, I was really, really surprised how much I liked this comic. I was surprised that it was happening, but then I thought it was really dope that it was happening. And then I read it and I was like, this is so much better than I ever would have thought. So go check out this comic, and go check out Ahmed Best's stories he has to say about the comic on Instagram. But all that to say, Bobby, thanks for all this. And before you go, I'm going to take you through a game, if you're cool with this.
Sure.
So let's do a Glup Shadow gauntlet.
Okay.
So I'll give you 2 Glup Shadows, 2 enter, 1 leaves, and then we'll keep running it through. These 2, and then you got then the next one.
Hope it's not the 2 I think it is.
It'll just be 2 at a time, and then I'll give you another one, and then we'll see who moves on and makes it through the whole gauntlet.
Okay.
Cool. So really it's, I don't know, there's like 12 of them or so.
Oh man, that's a lot.
It's just 2 at a time, so all you got to pick.
Marshallump in him?
I can put him in there if you want. Would he win?
It's okay. He probably wouldn't win, especially if 1 or 2 of these other ones are in it. But
and it doesn't have to be.
We do need more Marshallump. Disney, bring Marshallump back.
I'm gonna be so honest. I forgot Marfalump existed until all those ads have resurfaced on the internet in the last little bit, and I was like, right.
I've been loving people posting those. It's so funny to see them.
Wild, absolutely wild.
But it was such a weird character.
Yeah, and if I remember right, was he just in like the Pepsi ads?
I think so.
And the commercials?
Yeah, I think it was I think he was specifically a Pepsi mascot for Star Wars, if I remember right.
Strange.
And if I'm wrong, someone please correct me.
Yeah, let us know, because I either discovered Marfa existed or remembered that Marfa existed in the last, month or so. But all right. Glup Sh Gauntlet.
Lovely.
And this isn't them fighting. This is just you only get to pick one, right?
Okay.
With each time. Okay, so your first two pairing. Max Rebo and Shaggy.
I don't know if Shaggy counts. He's a human.
I can replace him with somebody else if you want.
That's going to be up to you. I'm going to go with Max Rebo, though.
Okay, have to.
With 4 limbs.
I was going to say, but what are those 4 limbs? Does he have arms or does he have legs down
Both.
there?
He's
Well
got
done.
arms and legs.
Well, but that, okay.
And he's got mouths on his fingertips.
Wait, does he really?
Yes, actually. Yeah, whether you subscribe to arms and legs or just his arms are legs, whichever one, the fingertips of his race are tiny mouths. So, yeah.
I had no idea. I just learned something. Today I learned that Max Rebo has mouth fingers. But okay.
Very strange, really strange fun fact about his race.
Let's face it, everything about Max Rebo is strange. And the biggest reason I started with him is he is the reason the name Glup Sh exists. He showed up in Book of Boba Fett, and someone, I don't have the name, said Star Wars is the only franchise where a quote-unquote Glup Sh can appear, and everyone loses their mind. But all that to say, just rightfully so, Max Rebo moves on. Deep cut, Max Rebo or Riff Tamson?
Oh, Tamson's an interesting one. I'm going to stick with Rebo, though. I like him more. I'm very biased to blue elephants.
Okay, so Max Rebo or Figrin Dan?
Ooh, Figrin Dan's a good one.
We got two jizz whalers
yeah,
battling it out.
Gosh, oh,
which one?
Max
Gotta
or
pick
Figrin?
one.
I'm probably going to continue with Max.
Okay, Max Rebo continues. All right, sticking with Star Wars Episode 4, Max Rebo or Garindan?
Garindan's a good one, too. The original snitch.
The original snitch.
I'm going to stick with Max on this one, believe it or not. I do like Max more.
I love it. That's awesome. We'll see if he runs the gauntlet. Okay, Max Rebo.
He's doing it so far.
Max Rebo, and this guy I feel like is borderline Glup Sh, but he's one of my favorites. Babu Frick.
Oh, Babu Frick totally is, yeah. Oh, man. Rebo.
Okay. All right. Max Rebo or my favorite name in Star Wars. Max Rebo or Therm Scissor Punch.
Ooh. Gosh, Scissor Punch is really cool. I'm going to go with him this time.
Wow, okay.
We're going to switch over the Nerm Scissor Punch because I feel like he's a very underrated gem.
Therm Scissor Punch or...
Got clamped.
Max got clamped. Therm Scissor Punch or Elon Sleazebagano.
Ooh, Elon Sleazebagano.
2 great names.
Yeah. Fun fact, he does go home, he rethinks his life, and he comes to the conclusion that he likes selling death sticks to people, and he goes back to doing that.
Wait, where's that from?
I don't remember. I think it was a book.
Right on.
I think it was a book.
I'm going to seek this out now. That's hilarious.
Yeah. It's got to be Scissor Punch, though.
Right on.
Oh,
Therm Scissor Punch or a classic one? Therm Scissor Punch or Zuckuss?
Oh, Scissor Punch for sure. Yeah.
Wow, right on. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never really been big on Zuckuss. One of the cool bounty hunters. He looks neat. Scissor
right
Punch.
On. Okay, he gets Scissor Punched. Okay, Therm Scissor Punch or Claude?
Yeah, Claude's another good one. But I'm going to stick with Scissor Punch just because of his cool factor and my bias.
Okay, cool. All right, so questionable Glup Sh, because not necessarily an alien, but Therm Scissor Punch or Lobot?
Oh, okay. I see what you mean there.
Yeah.
Because he's a cyborg.
Yeah.
Scissor Punch.
Okay, so Therm Scissor Punch or Kersantin?
Oh. Ooh, Kersantin's... that's another
It's pretty
good one.
cool.
And he's a Wookiee.
And he's a Wookiee.
Everybody loves a good Wookiee. But I'm going to go with Scissor Punch, mostly because of the uncommonness of this one.
Well, speaking of uncommonness, and a character that we recently found out is coming back in something, Therm Scissor Punch or Ben Quadraneros?
Oh, Ben Quadraneros. No contest. Therm is cool. but he's not the king. He's not the king Glup Shadow, and I think Ben the Goat Quadraneros is probably the biggest Glup Shadow of all time.
Wow. Right
Yeah.
on. So fun. Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's gonna top that. It's gonna be very hard to.
I got two more, and they won't, but
Okay.
just because the silliness, they're both very funny characters, I think. So, not funny what happens to this next one, but the name is great. So, Ben Quadraneros, or I'm a Gun-D, a.k.a. I'm a Gonna Die, the Jedi Master that existed to die on the Clone Wars.
the Twi'leks! And then, like, if he had maybe backed up just a little bit for like literally 5 more seconds, he would have been fine. Yeah, no, definitely Ben Quadraneros. Ben Quadraneros wouldn't have fell in that battle. He definitely would have won. He wouldn't have needed reinforcements. He would have just handled the situation.
He would have brought his pod and overloaded it in the same way, and then it would have flown out and destroyed all the droids.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then they would have been fine. The last Glup Shadow in the Battle of the Glup Shadows. Ben Quadraneros or Yarael Poof. It's the Cormian.
Yarael Poof is not going to win it because he forgot sheep saltines in the soup line.
Well done. There's
Yarael
another
Poof
deep cut.
is a really awesome one. I wish we got more of his character other than just the Phantom Menace. Same with, we got a little bit more of Yaddle, actually.
Yep. Tales of the Jedi.
Tales of the
Great
Jedi.
story.
Yaddle's been mentioned in other places too. What's his name? Grease in the Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order series
That's a
talks
great
about
one.
how he was interested in Yaddle romantically, which was kind of funny. But Yarael Poof is one of those that outside of Robot Chicken, we didn't really get much more of him. I think he appeared spectrally in a comic recently, I want to say. Maybe it was the Rise of Skywalker adaptation. Wasn't he in amongst one of the Jedi in the background in that?
You might be right. I think they did a panel and it was basically like every Jedi they could fit on the panel.
And Yarael Poof's here too. Why he would be is beyond me, because unless Yoda and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon were just doing Force Ghost tutoring, just conjuring up anybody they could think of who joined the
they're having
the cosmic force of, if I concentrate hard enough, they'll manifest, and then I'll show them how to come back as a Force spirit too.
They're just going around teaching master classes and seminars in the netherworld of the Force. Any soul they can find. Now I want that Robot Chicken sketch to exist of it's like a Force Ghost school.
Yeah.
You must learn to just redistribute your consciousness after you have passed. And then it's Jedi raising hands, sitting at school desks, and they're just skeletons. But how do we... Anyway, there we go.
Ben wins still.
Ben Quadraneros, the
still
King Glup. We have
he would have still been around. And he was, technically. He went on to become an intense rival to even Sebulba in their league. I guess.
Yeah. I think that's what the poster on Anakin Skywalker's Jedi dorm room said. Because wasn't it like Battle of the Champions or something? Was it the RBF said? And it was Quadraneros and Sebulba?
Ben and Sebulba. Yep.
Hilarious. Well, and now we know from Galactic Racer he's still around in the sequel trilogy area, which is preposterous, and I love it. But
also, old Sebulba looks really cool. Having the gray goatee looked really good on him.
I gotta tell you,
that.
I'm surprised they're still alive. Pod racing is dangerous, man. And they've got to be pushing like 60.
Oh, yeah. And who knows? I don't know exactly how old Sebulba was around the time of the Bunta Eve race. So, that's roughly almost 40, 50 years later from the time of the Phantom Menace all the way up to the sequel era.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, it's 60 years later.
Yeah.
Like on the money. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Which
it's,
is, that's crazy.
we know he was a full a full-grown Doug by that point. We know he was a notorious racer by that point with a very popular career. They weren't referring to him as a rookie by any means either.
That's true.
So, I mean, how old was he and how old is he now? I imagine he's got to be close to somewhere in between like 70 and 100 at least. I mean, other alien races age differently. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not absurd to think that Dougs live longer. I'm not super familiar with their biology, but if they do, good for them and good for Sebulba because he wears it well in the trailer. I mean, after we got the most recent Black Series
There
Sebulba,
you
which
go.
is amazing. I need a Ben Quadinaros Hasbro.
What is he holding?
It's I forget what they're called, but it's the little street meat creature
Oh, yeah.
that Gragra's serving on Mos Espa when
Gra.
Jar Jar starts sampling the sampling the merchandise because he thinks it's just to take. He thinks it's
Oh my
whoever's.
gosh. That's
And
right.
then, luckily, Sebulba was there to set him straight and keep an eye on his community. Like, hey, we pay for food around here.
It really is weird that I guess because Jar Jar put the thing in his soup. But yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
after like putting it in his mouth.
Well, all right, man. This was awesome. Thanks for
Thank you.
spending
I had a great
your
time.
This was dope.
Thank you.
And as far as we're concerned, Jar Jar's always been awesome. Always will be awesome. Go check out this awesome comic. And speaking of awesome things, gotta bring it up. Rebelscum Con 3 is like 5 months away. Oh, wow. I've been talking to you for almost 2 hours, and I just noticed you are wearing a Rebelscum Con polo. That's how aware I am. That is a dope-looking polo.
Thank you. I don't know if these ones are up for drop shipping right this second on the website, but there is a bunch of cool new merch up now for year 3, especially with the awesome 3 logo that we have that Kirk designed. But we also have some other stuff coming up soon to add to it. If they haven't been added already, there's a really kind of cool style of hat that I know Tucky's excited about. I'll have to double check. I haven't checked in a while. But this was something that he had ordered for us, and hopefully I think will eventually be up on the site to order. I have to talk to him about that if they're not.
Yeah. Well, and this might come out this Friday. It might come out a little while later. I don't know. I'll let you know. You know how like podcasting and stocking content goes. But all that to say, man, what else? Is there anything you want to say or can say about Rebelscum Con 3 at this present time?
Oh, absolutely. There's definitely lots to say about it, but to keep it short and sweet,
sure.
The experiences and things that we loved and you guys, the attendees, loved, we are really trying to focus and put more energy into that. We've made a bunch of, we feel, necessary corrections to the operations and signing in and all that good stuff for people coming in on year 3. We're trying to expand on panels and the kind of panels we're going to be doing on year 3. Some of the guest experiences we're bringing were even while staying in the vein of Star Wars, going a little outside of the box. We have some very wonderful guests from the Star Wars fan-inspired movie Fanboys coming out, where a group of plucky Star Wars fans go to sneak into Skywalker Ranch to watch The Phantom Menace before anybody else. Which, fun fact, if you missed out on Rebelscum Con year 2, we found out in the panel with Matt Wood and Sam Witwer that Matt Wood was the first human being to ever watch Star Wars The Phantom Menace all the way through. Even before George himself. George didn't even watch it through before he was like, here, sit down and watch this. As Matt tells it, basically. Well, without the impression.
Yeah. Oh, no, he did it. I remember because
did he?
Yes, and I was like, that's so funny.
Yeah, so just, it's a new movie. See what you think.
You're going to be the first one to watch this all together. Have fun.
Yep.
Take care of it.
Yep. Enjoy it. Yeah. Hope you love it. Great. I know I loved it.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Such an awesome movie.
For
Such
sure.
an awesome movie. But yeah, just some of those really cool and unique fan moments, fan experience, ahas, or cool behind the scenes stories that we got to listen to and experience. We're definitely going to be working on a lot of that again for Rebelscum Con Year 3 and continue to just cultivate that fun and family-friendly environment that we've done the past 2 years, and hopefully we get some more things right than we did previously, and that you have the best time possible.
Cool. Well, and, just to be shameless here, I loved Rebelscum Con 2. I don't know that I told you this. I was kicking myself I didn't go to Rebelscum Con 1. I'm busy. I'm crazy busy with work in July. And so the first year I was like, I just don't think I can make it. I really need to take time at home.
Yeah.
And then I saw how awesome the con was just on social media. And I was like, my home life can deal. I should have gone to the Star Wars convention. So, and, being another North Texas guy, as long as y'all are in North Texas, I will be at Rebelscum Con if I have to crawl. It is a great, and I know I'm nobody pays me to say this. I'm just saying it. It is a great con that is run by fans for fans. Star Wars Celebration is great. And then there's a celebration of Star Wars, which is Rebelscum Con. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I absolutely loved it. And I hope that you, listener watcher, come this year as well. But
Me too.
I can't wait to talk to, be in the presence of Giancarlo Esposito and Paul Lee. There are a lot of amazing guests, but Giancarlo, his
so nice.
His passion for life is, it's like, he's like human coffee. It's awesome. It just jazzes me up. But anyway, man, thanks for doing this. This was dope.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I texted you I think a couple days ago. I was like, I want to talk about Jar Jar. Bobby, that'd be dope. So anyway,
I'm glad
man,
you did.
Absolutely. I am too. This was great. And when we found out that Ben Quadraneros is the King Glup.
Oh yeah, King Glup. No contest. I mean, Jinky minus. He's a great throw in. Maybe one of these days Lucasfilm will actually add him into Star Wars after the fan nonsense. What's the other one? There's another really funny one that I just can't think of right this second, but Jinky minus definitely sticks out. Yeah. Ben Quadraneros is just so awesome. Hasbro, please, we need him in Black Series. We got him in VC. We need him in Black Series. We need him in 6-inch scale.
It'll happen. Power positive thinking. But anyway, I've wrapped up 3 times. I just like talking to you, dude. But thanks for coming on the show. We'll see you around soon, dude. Absolutely. And for now, I'm going to throw it back to me and Zach.
The Force of Others, a Star Wars podcast.